Hello, and welcome to Mechwarrior Online. Today, I'm doing a review of Quetzalcoatl. This is my Blood Asp E special variant, and I've made some modifications to it to make it the way I wanted it to be. See the skull and crossbones? This is a warning to light mechs. You think you can get in really nice and close and not think you're going to get hit or hurt. That would be a mistake. First of all, this doesn't have jump jets. I took them out. I'm not a big fan of jump jets. They are nice to have, but let's face it, on a Blood Asp, you can put a whole bunch of jump jets on here, and you're still not going to fly like the way a spider will. So I think it's kind of pointless. It is nice if you're dropping off of something so you don't damage the legs, but the damage is really light. It's like 1 or 2 damage at the most, even at a heavy drop. So let's take a look at what this thing is and show you why this is such a badass build. So as I mentioned, I took out the original E legs, which saved me like between 4 and 6 tons of weight just in jump jets. But by doing that, it allowed me to put heat sinks down on the legs. So I have heat sinks here and heat sinks here. And let's get to the meat and potatoes. I have 4 ER large lasers. These have a massive range. Effective range is probably, with skills, it's probably close to 1500, 1600, we'll just say. I mean, it goes all the way out to, what is it, 1863? But, you know, at that range, you're not doing any real damage, like 1 or 2 damage at the most. All you're doing is just giving somebody a tap on the shoulder at that point. But the effective range is all the way out to 931. And that's the optimum effective range, and that's doing 11 damage. So that's really nice. And I got 4 of them. So that's some damage there. I also have 4 SRM6s on board, which have a maximum optimum skilled range of 310, which is also going to be really nice for nice little anybody dumb enough to get too close to me situations, or if I start getting attacked. That's going to be really nice and effective, especially light mechs. I'm also running a Mark III targeting computer, which is going to give me a little bit better zoom ability and some targeting time information, as well as it's going to improve my crit chance as well. And it increases projectile speeds, laser ranges, and other crap. Speeds up targeting data. That's nice. Then I'm also running a light active probe on board. And as far as quirks, I'm not really getting any, but I'll show them to you anyways. So I'm getting +7 here because I changed out the legs, and I also, I just don't like jump jets. They're just, it feels like wasted weight to me. +7 here. I don't think the head's giving me anything. That's a big surprise. And +7 here, and +7 here. I don't think I'm getting anything on the legs. Nope. And the center torso, I'm getting velocity and radar deprivation. So velocity is +10. Radar deprivation is +25. That's really nice. Really, really, really nice. So it's one of the reasons I picked out this mech last year during the... I think this is like a hero mech as well. So anyway, during the beach party. So I'm running a ton of ammo for each pair of the SRM6s. And let's count out the double heat sinks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 double heat sinks, plus the 4 that are built into the motor here. I think that's right. Heat sinks. Oh, 10. Yeah, so that's 23 double heat sinks. And this gives me a heat management of 1.52. It gives me a firepower of 92. Wow. By the way, I can fire that once, and you will get ghost heat. You can fire this once in an alpha strike, and then it's gonna be really hot. So what I typically do is I typically cycle these. Oh, and the speed is 64.6 or 8, yeah. And so what I typically do is I fire these in chain fire, so 1, 2, and then 3, 4. I rarely fire these 2 at a time. The reason is because you want to be able to continue to fight. You don't want to have to fire these and then go and wait in the back while you cool down. because even though I've got a massive cooldown on this, and it's going to cool down really, really quickly, it does take a little bit of time if you fire them all at once and you go all the way to 100. So you don't want to do that if you can help it. Also, as you notice, I took out the hands and arm actuators because it allows me to put all this additional stuff on here. See, it's won't even click. I'm running 2 cool shots in a UAV, which is per typical. And when you go to the skills, full range, almost everything out on heat sinks or heat generation. I went with laser durations. I'm not too worried about the missiles because they're secondary features and I have plenty of ammo on board. But I went with full skeletal, full armor hardening, full reinforced casing. It's an assault mech. I also went with 2 additional for overheat damage, just in case, because it's got to get hot. It's got to get toasty. You want to be able to have that protection. It's like free armor, in my opinion. Cool run, heat containment, seismic sensor, radar deprivation. These are the key note items for me. I'm not too worried about range because, you know, I've got range already, and chances are the range isn't going to go as far out as my lasers do, even if I have it skilled out. I mean, I'd have to have like a howl to have that kind of range, and a howl only has 1 energy point, so it's kind of redundant. And then I have my 3 consumables. Also, if you notice that one of the things you got to really consider is when you do this, you can get the energy or the enhanced cool shots on here, and that really makes a difference in how long you get for the cooldown. And it also really really helps. So if you go like add on these things here, either side, and you don't do any of this, and you've got a hot mech, you're really just kind of cooking yourself at that point. And as mentioned before, I'm firing these buttons 1 and 2, which is left and right, and then button 3, which is my thumb on my mouse, operates my SRM6s, and I do alpha strikes with the SRM6s typically. Seems to work out pretty well. Yeah, so this is a nice range build, and it allows you to also do a little bit of brawling if you have to. Those 4 SRM6s are really going to be devastating to anybody in close quarters. Sometimes I like to cycle them, and the reason is because if the target's moving around, especially like a light mech, it gives you more opportunity to get strikes, versus if you do an alpha strike and miss, you have to wait for it to cool down before you can fire them again. And the cooldown, I believe, is the heat is 3.75, but I can't remember what the cooldown is. Oh, the cooldown is 3.75 and the heat is 3.4. So you have to wait almost 4 seconds before you can fire them again. So it's better to cycle them if you're in close quarters with a light mech or something. So that's what I typically do in those situations. When I get down to the end of the match, I like to have the SRMs cycling as well. But if I'm in the beginning of a match and somebody just rolls up on me, boom, hit them as hard as I can, first try. Anyway, I hope this information was useful, and I hope you continue to like my videos and channels. And I still don't understand why that video with the Velociraptor in my shorts does so well. It's somewhat enjoyable. I also have an Instagram account under the same name, SQ, for me too. Talk to you later.